Hi everyone, I'm here with a very short video. Just wanted to talk about my biggest gripe with Monster Hunter Rise ever since the release of it. This gripe of mine, unfortunately, has been solidified by the Sunbreak expansion, with the addition of new skills specifically. It became very annoying to me that I have to make a video discussing about it, because this revolves around one of my most favorite monster versus my least favorite monster in the game. Now to preface the gripe first, I am purely a Gen 5 Monster Hunter player. Well, I've played a little bit of Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate on the Switch, but mostly I've only played World, Iceborne, Rise, and Sunbreak. So I don't actually know if the case was like this before. Furthermore, I wanna know if you guys have the same opinion or not. Let me know in the comments below, and feel free to like or dislike the video as well. So I'll jump straight into the point here. This gripe of mine on Monster Hunter Rise is about two monsters, Mizutsune and Almodron, and to an extent, Violet Mizutsune and Magma Almodron. I'll set up the scene with my opinions on the monsters first. I think Mizutsune is one of the best designed monsters in the game, while Almodron is one of the worst monsters in the game. And it's kind of a funny thing considering that these monsters were basically cousins. Mizutsune is this nimble leviathan that likes to move around the arena to fight, and occasionally shoot water beams at you, which deals water damage, making the fight against Mizutsune feels like a dance with the monster and not some sort of a brawl against the monster. Almodron, on the other hand, is not as nimble as Mizutsune, but in trade of that, their attacks are all over the place. Hitboxes are messy, mods are inconsistent whether or not they damage you or just slows you, and they're just ugly aesthetically. But one thing that contrasts one monster with another is their usage of elemental attacks. You see, Mizutsune utilizes water beam attacks and bubbles to deal water elemental damage to you, and is quite effective to most beginners since these attacks are lethal on gears with undeveloped armors and resistance. Contrasting with Almodron, Almodron only utilizes the mud as some sort of a slowing debuff or as something that alters the arena, which does not directly mean that Almodron deals as much water elemental damage as Mizutsune. I'm also pretty sure that most of Almodron's damage to the hunter is physical damage, with some water elemental damage, but they're more of a physical damage dealer. So to recap, Mizutsune is more of a water elemental caster than Almodron. That being said though, I don't understand why the Mizutsune weapon stats are geared towards a more raw or physical type of damage with lesser water elemental damage, even to the file types being impact and power, while Almodron's weapons have the highest water elemental stat in the entire game, with full-on elemental files and such. I don't know about you, but it feels like the weapons for these monsters are swapped. I know that you might be thinking that this is probably the worst timing to talk about this, since the addition of layered weapon is here, and that I should just slap on the layered weapon. But I think that's just dodging the point here. My point is that by hunting the monsters, carving them for materials, and making weapons and armors with their materials, the end result being the weapon and armor should have been reflective of the monster that we hunted. So it's weird that the weapons of these monsters do not reflect the monster. This point has kind of been solidified further with the additions of the monster's subspecies / rare species, but I'll give a point to Magma Almodron here because their attacks are more indicative to their weapon being elemental based because their attacks revolve around this exploding mud, and they also have a huge supernova that deals a lot of fire elemental damage. But with the addition of Violet Mizutsune, the justification became blurred, because Violet Mizutsune, not only did they also deal a lot of fire damage by gasoline beam and lingering fire, but they have an addition of elemental resist debuff on their gasoline attacks, making the Violet Mizutsune more of a fire element based monster compared to Magma Almodron. Yet their weapon stats are still swapped just like the water element version of the weapons, and that simple minor thing is my biggest gripe of Monster Hunter Rise. But hey, this is one man's take on Mizutsune vs Almodron. I think I just got the courage to talk about this because of the meta shifting into elemental damage base with the addition of element exploit and chain crit, or now it's called burst. So what do you think? Would you agree with my sentiment, or do you think otherwise? I'd like to know your thoughts in the comments, that is if you managed to watch up till this part. Additionally, I'd like to know what your gripe is with Monster Hunter Rise as well. So anyway, thanks for watching, bye.